Yo, good people. It's your homie HerbMan, and you back upside the head with another hot banger boogie. Hey, look, go tell somebody your homie HerbMan is on. And if you're new to our program, welcome. Go ahead and hit that logo right at the bottom of your screen right there and hit that notification bell so that you never miss what we bring to the platform. All right. And remember, guys, it is very, very free to like, share, and subscribe. So go ahead and hit that thumbs up if you will, please. All right. So what we're talking about today is how to reverse high blood pressure. Now, we know that high blood pressure plagues most of us, no matter what race you're from, what region of the world you live in. This is something that we all may deal with, or have dealt with, or are dealing with currently right now. And there are a lot of different things that you could probably hear over the internet, but there is ways to reverse it the natural way without having the side effects of what some of these drugs do, that we're taking for high blood pressure. All right. And so we got to understand what the heart is trying to do. You got to understand that the heart is the most workingest organ inside the body, and it is pumping oxygenated blood all throughout your body. All right. And it takes that deoxygenated blood, and it takes it from the lungs via the veins, and then it pushes the oxygenated blood out via the arteries. Okay, so you got one that's coming in, one that's going out. All right, so the veins have it coming in, the arteries have it going out to the other areas of your body. Now, what happens is, from the foods that we eat and the things that we drink, we collect deposits within the inner walls of these arteries. Okay, and it starts to block somewhere. So when you're dealing with hypertension, you have a blockage, or you are creating a blockage in the inner walls of your arteries. That is what is going on with hypertension. Okay, so the first thing we would like to do is identify the location of the blockage. And that could be anywhere. It could be something dealing with the lungs. And if it's something dealing with the lungs, then your brain is not getting any oxygen. Okay. It could, if something is dealing with any other part, like say the kidneys, that may affect your heart. Okay. So what we got to do is find it. And a lot of times how you find something is just to eliminate the body. So that means you're going to have to detox first. Okay, you're going to need to detox the gut, you're going to need to detox the liver and the kidneys, and any other place that you can detox. Your lungs, you need to detox your gallbladder, your spleen, your blood, remember. And you need to make sure that you flush yourself totally out so that you can push out the clot, and you need to clean your arteries. Okay, and because what we're trying to do is get the triglyceride levels to normality. Okay, and so again, you're going to have to detox first, and then you got to go back with the minerals that are needed to help keep the arteries supple and also clean the arteries up. Those are the herbs that you're going to need to find. Herbs that will clean the arteries and also keep the arteries supple so that they don't harden up. And you don't want to wait until your arteries are hardened up. And some of the identifiers that you can understand when you're dealing with hardened arteries is when your skin gets hardened. Remember that our skin is kind of on the inside of us. It's kind of the inside of our tissues. So it's the same constituents. So if you're having hard skin, you're having cracked heels, you probably got some hardened arteries. And it's time to start cleaning those things. Now, I know we get our high blood pressure readings, 120/80, and we already know when those things get high, what we need to try to do, or when you're dealing with low blood pressure, which is a whole nother video, what you need to try to do. All right. But there's another thing called the pulse pressure, which is when you're saying 120/80, that reading is a 40 difference. All right. That 40 difference will increase as you get older, and that's still normal. But when you get an immediate increase or decrease from that number, those are the things you got to worry about in the here and now. Okay, when it goes there, then you have some issues. Okay, if it goes too low, you're going to have some issues as well. So those are just some of the caveats that we need to look at. But as you've heard before, when we're talking about the circulatory system and we're talking about this heart here, and again, I told you that it's pumping to the lungs, it goes back to the heart, then it goes to every other area in your body. And that's kind of what the heart's job is to do. Now, if you're getting any type of blockages anywhere, it can cause high blood pressure. And that's why it is so important for us to understand that detoxification is going to be the number one thing that you're going to have to do. The next one is we're going to have to change how you eat. Okay, so you can't have any unnatural oils and oily processed food. Obviously, we know we got to stay away from sodium. Okay, exercising is always going to play a part in that. Whether you can walk, yoga, run, or do any type of thing, you're going to need to do that because that improves your blood flow. Okay, now some of the herbs that will help you in high blood pressure and also help reverse this thing. See, and let me say this, the only way that you can reverse high blood pressure is that you would have to do everything. Okay, you can't reverse it by doing one of these things. You got to be able to put it all together, and that's when your blood pressure not only will be lower but will stay lower. Some of these things will help you lower it, but it won't help it stay there. So when we're talking about curing, then that means that you don't have it anymore. It's gone. All right, and it's not going to come back because the cure is in the prevention. Remember, prevention is more cheaper than cures. Okay, and so this is the prevention of high blood pressure, which is also the way for you to reverse hypertension. It's the cure. All right, so herbs are Arjuna and green tea, making sure that you get the decaffeinated kind. What Arjuna has in it is CoQ10. So you don't have to be taking CoQ10 if you're taking Arjuna. And I also want to make sure that you guys understand that if you're taking these herbs, you definitely want to consult your physician because you don't want to be taking blood pressure medication on top of taking these, because these are doing the same thing and then it could lower it too much. So please be cautious when dealing with these particular herbs and high blood pressure. They're going to do the job. Okay, green tea, if your blood pressure goes up a whole lot, you may need 2 cups to bring it back down to 120/80. If it goes up a little bit, you may need 1 cup to bring it down to 120/80. Okay, garlic has always been known to be very helpful in high blood pressure. Why? Because this is your cleaning agent. All right, this helps clean the walls of your arteries. Okay, and it also helps with the triglycerides as well. Okay, now when we're talking about food as well, we're talking about whole plant-based foods. Okay, whole plant-based foods is what you're going to need, and you're going to need foods that are high in calcium, magnesium, potassium, folic acid, which is B9, and vitamin D. All right, you're going to need those things. And the reason why now you say, what is the biggest one of these minerals that you really need? All of them to reverse hypertension. But when you're really dealing with something, magnesium is going to be the very thing, because you got to understand the secret is into cleaning the arteries and making them supple. Magnesium is very good for the muscles and the tissues, which are our blood vessels as well. Okay, so when you're having spasms and all this type of stuff, if you eat foods rich in magnesium, magnesium chloride, those things, then you're going to be doing your body some justice when you're talking about the muscles and the tissues in our bodies. Okay, so it's not very hard to reverse hypertension. All it takes is a little commitment and a little bit more of some consciousness to what we're putting inside our bodies. We also just need to understand the dichotomy of high blood pressure, understanding that if you have if you're eating foods that are high in sodium and high in all these particular toxins and high in all these chemicals and these heavy metals, they will begin to start depositing in your blood vessels. Okay, and when that happens, that's when you're susceptible to hypertension. Now, the byproducts of hypertension, we all know, are various heart diseases, various pulmonary issues. You know, the list goes on. Like I said, various erectile disorders, various libido situations, all because there are blockages to these places that you're trying to enrich with blood. And if you have a blockage somewhere and you want blood flow to get to your reproductive region and it just can't, not at the rate that it needs to. And so that is starting to cause erectile dysfunction. You notice in most men who are dealing with this, they probably had some type of hypertension situation, high blood pressure situation, maybe dealing with diabetes. All of these things are signs, okay, of high blood pressure and hypertension. But again, this thing could be reversed and it could be cured, and this is the video to really show you how. Okay, so again, you need to do the no oily processed foods and obviously no table salt. You need to do some form of exercise for blood flow. You need to look in these herbs as Arjuna or green tea, the decaffeinated kind, because those things have CoQ10 and they also are able to help you balance out the diastolic and systolic numbers. But you need to consult your physician before dealing with these herbs, because they do the same thing as your high blood pressure medication, and you don't need to take them together. And you know, garlic, we use that as a cleaning agent and as a helper of our triglyceride levels. And then we need to make sure that these are the minerals that we continue to eat. Switch out the sodium and add in the calcium, the magnesium, and the potassium, the folic acid, and the vitamin D foods. And a lot of this is going to be vitamin D. You're talking about fish oil, right? You can get that in fish oil. The folic acid, you can get it in foods. The potassium, you can get it in foods. The magnesium, you can definitely get it in foods. A lot of that is the meats and stuff like that. The calcium, you can definitely get it in leafy green vegetables, guys. You can get a lot of that in leafy green vegetables. Pretty much all of that you can get in leafy green vegetables. And that's how you start to reverse. Remember, whole food, plant based. I'm your homie HerbMan. I love you guys, and it's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Go tell somebody your homie HerbMan was on. And until next time, love HerbMan. Yo, 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 good people. Welcome to the HerbMan